I welcome all of you, the students, and our esteemed guest speaker, Mr. Praveen Paritkar, for this fifth webinar series on career opportunities in food science and technology, especially focusing on building, empowering our students who are pursuing their graduate study, postgraduate study, early career scientist, and all of us who need, empowerment and career building throughout our life. It is not like end. So, keeping that context in mind, we have been organizing this series, and today is our fifth webinar virtual series on empowering our students, especially food science and technology. But in our forum, we have students from different backgrounds, not only just food science and technology, because everyone would like to be empowered. So today we have with us Mr. Praveen Paritkar, and I know Praveen sir when I had not even started my career. So when I was a trainee, immediately when I was in fourth year of my BTech study, and I had got an opportunity to do the in-plant training in Cadbury in Pune. So there I met Mr. Praveen Paritkar, and it gave me a very different, perspective to look towards life, towards career when I interacted with Mr. Praveen Paritkar. And I saw a person who is very kind-hearted, who is always ready to help despite of what busy schedule he has. And no differentiation, like despite we being just student, he always was there to help us. That made a very huge impact on my life as well as on my career. And directly or indirectly, Praveen sir, you have influenced my thinking process, thought process, and I'm really grateful for all that you have taught me. No matter it was a short period of time, but I have a great influence and learning from you. And I always remember your nature, your helping nature, you being such a kind and humble person despite of achieving so many things. So currently, Praveen sir is consultant, especially human resource development, skill development programs. He has been conducting national apprenticeship promotion scheme consultant programs for various organization, national organization, international organization, private organization, and so many organizations. He has completed masters in personal management, and he's also pursuing PhD currently. Despite of 34 years he has spent in human resource development, no barriers for learning. So I really appreciate, sir. You are still, have that passion. And yes, why not, one should have that passion for learning always. So he has worked with some of the biggest organization, and as I said, I met him in Cadbury India Private Limited. Now it is a Mondelez. He has also worked with Cuminous Generated Technologies and MIT World Peace University, where he was a director in HR section. Not only this, but he has many international contributions at international level. Like he is associated with West Africa, Ghana, especially biodiversity and cocoa plantation wildlife. He has awarded some of the prestigious fellowships, to name few: Earthwatch Fellowship from the Global Project on Coca beans, also some of the other fellowships from United Kingdom, Stanford, and Columbus, and so many others. So he has such a beautiful, things to share upon. He has been working on the subject of human rights, especially performing a very good positions like International Human Commission, working with International Human Commission. He's also a part of various other, programs, National Human Resource Development of Pune chapter. He has delivered many invited guest lecture at reputed universities, institutions, colleges, conferences, seminars, and so many other impartments. He has given his expertise to empower students, personals, professionals, and added a lot of value to the youth. So thank you so much, sir, for being here today, despite of having so much of busy schedule in your day-to-day life and your association. with variety of organization. I'm so grateful that you have agreed to spend your time and share your wisdom to all of us. Thank you so much, and over to you, sir.
So good morning. Uh, it has been a really nice feeling to get connected with the earlier Shalini and now Dr. Shalini. And she has been always a very brilliant student and a very kind-hearted professional, right? So I'll just directly connect with the subject. I'm very sure that you have already got sessions on communication skills, and I've added some flavor to that because you are from food students, and I would say it's a flavor. It's a success flavor through effective communication skills. So just having a communication skill won't really suffice. So it is necessary that every segment, every fragment of us is directly connected with the attributes that are required to be a very good communicator. So when we have a culmination of all such things, then we are sure that we are marching ahead with confidence towards the success. And therefore, this session will throw light on the attributes that are required to be a successful professional or a successful human being, and therefore what is the importance of having a very good communication skill. So we'll move to the session, the slides, and the point is that I will run through certain things which you have already covered, but maybe focus more on the experiences that I would like to narrate to you so that you capture those and become intelligent and wise enough to understand what goes on in the industry and how that will be really helping you to be successful. So since you are food students, I said it's food for thought. So being able to communicate effectively is one of the most important skills. Yeah, we know that because right from the childhood to the last moment of our life, this communication plays a very, very important role. It's not only about being professionally best communicator, but in the life, it's a life skill, I can call it. So it drives our life. It's such an important statement. So without communication, there won't be life. That we always understand the level of importance of communication in our life. So personal professional success, relationships, and ultimately they all connect with happiness, and we are here to be happy. We are here to derive success through our profession, through our engagements, through our relationships and everything. And all these things are directly, indirectly connected with communication ability of a person. So we need to continuously improve. We always call it as a continuous improvement program. So no matter how much experience you have, but every day, every segment, and every experience gives you some inputs on how you can be a better communicator. Our presentation is basically focusing on the professional communication and tips to improvise. There are certain things which I'll just skip through, but I'm very sure that you'll get the most of it. So, professional perspective is irrespective of our role, hierarchy, roles in professionally or whatever, we need to do certain things. So you being students and the faculty or experienced people like me in different sectors, whatever, we have to understand the dynamics of where we can use the communication skills. So I'll just run through this. If we write, it is communication. We understand, it's communication. We respond, it is communication. Exhibit, we present, we accept, reject, agree, disagree, advise, advocate, consult, sell, cooperate, advertise, differentiate, dwell, persuade, evolve, connect, co-work, telecast, negotiate, navigate, and collect, customize, integrate, modify, replace. You will find this list is non-stoppable. Yeah. So each of these things, as you are seeing this, so every segment, every fragment of a life is all about this. And when all of this is connected with being a communication aspect, you must understand the level at which we have to strengthen this skill. And therefore, this session is only throwing some light on how you can build up those skills which are so important. So this is not a syllabus. This is the life, and this is the life session that I'm talking to you. So there are a few lists which is just running through: train, unify, diversity. I don't think any human being does anything different in different levels and different platforms. So when we say all these things, and therefore the last point is all about dots. Yeah, it is not stoppable anywhere. So when each aspect is connected so strongly with communication, let us run through what are the things that are governing and what are the things we can learn. So we all need to communicate at every instance in different forms to achieve success in professional life. So to understand communication, we have to understand what are the levels. Is it only a transference of understanding, or is information sharing between two people, right? So efficient communication is essential to being successful in life. The biggest source of interpersonal problems is poor communication. So in order to understand communication well, we also need to understand what is the myth that is connected with this communication aspect. So we have an understanding or a perception that we only communicate when we want to communicate. That's wrong. Words mean the same to both the speaker and the listener. This is the myth that certain people carry, and therefore they feel that whatever I tell is being understood in the right way. We communicate chiefly with words. No, it is so different. We'll go through that. These are the myths which we have in mind, which we need to erase and then replace them with the right spirit and the segment. Non-verbal communication is the silent communication. You'll understand this later. Communication is one-way street. The message we communicate is the message that the listener receives. There is no such thing as too much of information. So there are certain barriers also. So, and we started with the aspect connected with the myths and what are the barriers. Once we understand these two aspects, then we understand really mitigate and really get into the right type of communication. So what are the barriers is a misinterpretation, because we think that the person has understood, but it could be really misinterpreted. So evaluation of the center. There are people who continuously evaluate the person who is communicating because of their own ways of thinking or the perceptions they carry, and therefore there are distortions which happen between the sender of the communication and the receiver. So projection, the stereotyping is one of the aspects is connected. Arrogance or superiority is also there. As the person grows in life, then this aspect needs to stop, but in some way or some other way it appears, and therefore there are people who because of this aspect fail to understand. They feel that's only one-way traffic and then it goes through. Defensiveness before understanding. There are people who would like to defend what they are saying instead of understanding. So earlier I've said this communication is all about understanding and then communicating about it. Inarticulateness. There are people who have been brilliant throughout their lives and brilliant in their studies and professions, but the way they communicate or the articulation aspect is not built so much to make a very positive impact. And therefore this is a very important factor. As students, I would suggest that the art of articulation is one of the key aspects in developing your personality and also your professional skills. So it's good to pay enough attention towards the vocabulary, the way you speak, and what I would suggest is it all begins, the communication begins with how you communicate with yourself first. If I have distorted thoughts about something, there's no way that I can really talk in a very pleasant manner with someone else. first I will have to understand communication myself. I have to talk to myself first. My thoughts have to be clear. My intelligence has to be perfect. My competence has to be reached. Then when I am clear, then it becomes easy for me to articulate through various mechanisms. There are things which we have to learn, but definitely it starts with oneself. So there are people who during communication have different agendas talking to different people. Hidden agendas here, I mean, is they have something different in mind and they are just pretending to listen, and then becomes a barrier. Status, yeah, status, I think you can understand it much better. Environment in which we communicate is also important. Differences in background is not about having a positive framework, but differences in terms of understanding the capabilities, the education, the geography, all these things matter. So it is very important to understand the target group or the targeted person, and then communicate with the bandwidth that the person can really understand. So poor timing, at times we speak the wrong thing at different times, and or the right thing in different moods, and then it becomes a barrier. There are personality conflicts. There are so many human aspects connected with communication. Therefore, whenever we say we are a human resource professional, it also means that there are various sensitivities we have to manage in our careers and professions. Being HR is not only about having this aspect, but any person with a soul and a heart and a mind will really require this communication, because everyone's life is governed with the best communication and the effectiveness. So once I talk of communication, we have to understand what are the shutdowns. We There are certain statements which help or which distort communication. So what are these statements? So if somebody is communicating, we have such statements coming up. Don't be ridiculous. Yeah, it will cost too much. So there are aspects which cut the communication in between instead of really getting through. So these are few statements that run through this. That's not my responsibility, right? So there are different ways of tackling people, and then these statements really stop communication. And whenever communication stops, knowledge stops, experience stops. So we are not here to stop someone, but we are here to gain some aspects about communication through communication, and then actually enhance our learning and experience with others. Yeah, we can restrict certain aspects which are seen to be having some time pass, but definitely we can be wiser to understand that we don't have to stop someone. We can just diverse or align that thinking with something different, which is really value adding to both the parties. So we don't have time. Yeah, this is one of the statements that come up. We have never done this, we have never done this before. So once you say this, then there's no way that you can gain some knowledge. That's not the way we do things around here. Yeah, this is one very arrogant statement, and then this stops the brainstorming session, though no advice comes through. If it is broke, if it's not broken, don't fix it. So until you get ill, then you don't have to visit a doctor. It's just saying like that. We are not ready for that. So these are the statements we have to avoid in the future. This, as students, I would suggest that when you know these things, that these are the communication shutdowns, it's stopping you to get knowledge. You can't teach a old dog new tricks. It will never sell. So once you say this, you are restricting something. Yeah, will become the laughing stock for the entire company. Once you say this, you are restricting someone. We tried that before and it didn't work. So there are certain things it simply cannot be done. And so these are the things which I'll share this presentation definitely. But I would like you to run through, because I'll touch upon some different topics altogether. Few I can read. Let's form a committee to decide. Yeah, then it won't work here. I don't personally agree, but if you insist, so it is a half-hearted communication. Then you don't expect good results if there's no heart in doing certain things. So every communication which goes the wrong way has its own cost. It can be tangible, it can be the other way around. So what goes wrong is that we can lose customers. Say as students, we have to understand is there's no connection between what I'm doing and wrong in communication and how it connected with the customer. Everything is linked in industry or life. You say one thing and you decide one thing and you do something and then it goes into the wrong side. So it's all about lost customers, failed projects, missed deadlines, and there are so many conflicts. So if we talk of life being a value addition, then we have to understand that wrong communication has to be avoided. And it can be avoided only when you know what are the things which are good in communication and which are bad in communication. So the cost is too much. We don't have so much of time to really do such blunders in life. Problem number is lack of clarity or incomplete information. So whenever we are doing some project or we're doing some work, it's important that we have to understand the intricacies that are required to manage that project well. If there are certain directions, there are certain SOPs, there are certain methodologies, there are certain parameters. If these are less understood, then there's no chance that you can really get full outcome out of it. So if you have a half-hearted involvement, you cannot expect a fully developed result out of it. So whenever you are doing certain things, be it your assignment or maybe your syllabus or exams, or later on as you transit into industry, you have to get involved and deeply involved to understand what goes into it, and therefore that makes a difference to you. So when I say success and communication, these two aspects are very much important. Successful people are very good in communication, and communication is not only about speaking but also so many other things which will just reach out. So ineffective listening, listening also is a skill. You have learned it many times, but I'll definitely touch upon the aspect later on. Using wrong approaches, method or timing when delivering a message. So message delivery, understanding a message and delivering it to the fullest length and the fullest spirit is also an aspect. If I can narrate one story, like not a story, but if you cannot or incapable of understanding a customer's voice, there's no way that you can really fulfill his or her requirement in the market. So if this is the aspect, so understanding a message, processing it rightly and delivering the right result is a very important factor in communication. So so you'll understand how this has a connection with the customer and therefore your success story. So lack of assertiveness in communication. There are certain people who would like to take whatever it comes, and then they don't have the ability to really say no to the areas where they don't feel that working right. So communication is also having an aspect connected with assertiveness. So if this assertiveness aspect is missing, it really takes you to the other side, which actually uh, uh, dilutes the purpose of the any project. Too much of multitasking. So half of focus is, if it's distributed everywhere, then there's no way that you can get the fullest result into one aspect. So these aspects are very important while getting the communication right, getting the messages right. People don't realize how their communication style affects others. So because we don't have the introspection done about, and we also are not good in taking feedback. So feedback, seeking a feedback is a very important tool in communication. The person who seeks feedback has the intention of being flexible in changing to betterment. Otherwise, if rigidity persists, then there's no way that you can make a difference, because every time the person will say that I am right. And if the person has the belief that I am the only person who is right, then there's no way that some improvement will happen. Therefore, seeking a feedback, seeking what is right with me, what is wrong with me, is also a very important communication form, which we have to really understand. So when it comes to writing, this aspect is also very important. It's not only about vocabulary, but the way you think and the way you articulate what you write is very playing a very important role. So I'll run through this. I would suggest you would read through. So keeping it simple, logical, getting the tone right. See, whenever you are writing, it's important that you write to the target group, understanding their own way, right? Otherwise, if you feel that I'm writing the best, but it's not being understood, then it's not a perfect communication. So in good listening skills, yeah, it's an active skill: observing, hearing, feeling, and sensing. So most of the people, we can find out who is a best listener, and we always like to communicate with that person, right? But there are people in life who don't listen to us, and then there's no way that if you are not able to communicate with that person, then you try to avoid such person. So try to understand that, therefore it's important that we inculcate the habit of listening also, because if you don't understand, there's no way you can do the things perfectly, and no way this result will be as per the expectation of a colleague or a boss or a company or a customer in the final ways. So the same thing happens in our family, and therefore then most of the time we hear the comment that no one understands me, right? Because there are certain intricacies we have to understand and work at the background, so that we become successful professionally and also in life. So when it comes to 10 effective keys to listening, then find areas of interest. So see, when you are trying to understand or make a difference to that person, find the areas of interest, because when you generate interest, then only the things will really take to the next level. So judge the content, not the delivery. Hold your fire. Listen to the ideas. So listening is an important thing, but what ideas are really important? So a poor listener listens to fact, but then good listener, what he or she does is he listens to a central theme, which is important. So not everything is important what we listen. So there has to be a filtering mechanism, and that filtering mechanism has to be connected with what validation we are going to bring in the system, be it a system, be it a process, or be it industry or a life. So if I entertain value added listening, then I will be entertaining the value added people also in life. So these two aspects are very important. So we have to make a choice of what to listen, how much to listen, and then only we understand how much I can articulate, how much I can contribute, how much I can involve, and how much I can deliver. So when you understand these two themes, and then these themes basically bring results in organizations. So if there is a diverse thinking, then also communication can play a role, because then the way you can manage and mitigate crisis, uh, it helps in understanding different perspectives. But communicating or understanding does not necessarily mean that you have to say yes to everything. Therefore, the aspect of assertiveness plays a very important role. You can agree to disagree, that's fine, but the communication, the tone, the understanding, the language, and the spirit has to be such that you don't spoil the teamwork, you don't spoil the spirit, you don't spoil the vision and the mission of the organization. It is about having diverse thinking, but also towards working towards better teams and better performances. So see, at times we believe too much on our brains, and we do find that then writing notes is not very important. But I would suggest that it's good to write certain notes, at least the key points or the keywords, because these become the triggers for us to take it further. So in terms of effective listening, I would say work at listening. we are not good. We say that communication is all about speaking. No, listening also is a very important skill, and then we have to resist distractions when we are talking. So when I was having a session now with you, I have ensured proactively that there's no disturbance happening. So there are certain things which can happen, but it's if you work proactively towards this aspect, you can really manage things. I'm just running through this session, the listening skills, because I've touched majority of it, but I would like to focus on some other aspects also. So there are many things which we have to learn in non-verbal communication. So right from the student stage, right from the uh, areas where you have to interact with the interviewing panel, or then you get into industry. So these aspects have to be learned in a different way. What do you mean by different way, right? So uh, so it's communication enhances basically the speaker and the listener. So you have to pay attention to the body language aspects, and then understand. See, we are good in this, but at times we don't develop this attribute. So when we say there's an interview session happening, it's also important that you also observe the interviewer's body language. What are the things the person is liking or understanding, and is helping him to get more connected with me, has to be understood by the interviewee. Once you know this, then you have to mold your discussion in such a way that it you throw the same or similar type of examples, similar type of speech, and similar type of spirit and thoughts, so that the person keeps on liking what you have been saying. So these aspects are not only about speaking some generic things, but also about some technical things. So understanding the body language, understanding what can be offered, and then this equation really plays a very important role when you get selected or not selected for any organization. So this observation skill is very important. At times we engage ourselves so much in speaking that you miss very important aspect of observing the other person who is receiving it. So you have to really mold your speech or thinking on observation, right? So so noticing what goes on both verbally and non-verbally. There are thinner aspects also, like the person is speaking something verbally, but his body language is something different. So it comes with some experience that the person who is trying to say that I understand you is not really understanding, and it comes with some experience and also some maturity and some understanding about these skills. Therefore, it is important that you imbibe this aspect of observing people, observing what they say, how they say, the tone they really use, the silence they predict at times, the pauses they take. All these things are very, very important in communication. So during a process of say interviewing or during a process of meeting, there are people who have been very observant, those that they speak at the right time. So the timing, the observation, the listening, the culmination of all this matrix really helps you to be successful. The way you can speak, the way you can articulate what you want to say. Observation skills are important because up to 85% of the communication is non-verbal. Just understand this aspect. If you are missing on observation, you are missing 85% of the communication. Though this statistically, it's you may find it more say irrelevant, but then even if you say that you miss certain aspects, then you're missing a major deal, because then you'll go into some industry, you'll find that there are meetings where you, if it's of your interest, you'll pay attention. If it's not interested, then you'll not pay attention. It's not on, because every communication is important. what you have to capture, what you have to save as a file is a different thing. Not all files have to be saved, right? There are certain things which need to be deleted, but for that you have to understand what is to be taken and what is not to be taken. And therefore communication, observation, listening, all this play a very important role. Enthusiasm, the agility, these aspects are very important because these are observed. When a meeting is scheduled and the person who is speaking always understands, a teacher always understands the students who are observant, who are active, and they also observe who are not active and they're not interested. So it becomes a very important impression when you connect with people. So these are a few pictures what to observe in other persons' non-verbal communication. Yeah, we understand these aspects, but deeper understanding when it comes to professional life is very important, because then you understand how much you can move further, how much you can step back and make a diversion, or maybe there are areas where you need to align with the purpose of the job. So a person who understands communication aligns quickly to the aspects that are connected with every meeting or every statement or every letter, or even understanding a bigger notification, whatever, a policy document. When a communication is strong, you actually do what is required, not because the person is saying, but because it's required by the job to do. So this non-verbal communication also plays a very important role. So body language, yeah, it's an extension of what I've been saying, that you need to understand how much is being understood, and that can be understood only when you be observant about that person who is receiving it. Open postures, closed postures, and all those things. Intensity of movement. A patient, a person who is composed, a person who is impatient, a person who is not understanding, all these things can be depicted by the way the person really exhibits himself or herself. Facial expressions, yeah, what are the things which are important and can add value are important. Facial expressions, we understand that, but try to get deeper into the aspect, right? The deeper in the sense that you understand how that person is responding, whether the person is taking it seriously or not seriously. It becomes that if you become a boss and then you are communicating to your team, and the communication is such that you are not observant and the person and the team does not understand it, it becomes very what to say important, because the results won't get delivered. It's the matter of communication is so important that if you communicate perfectly and the thing is understood perfectly, then there's every chance that the result will be good. Though majority of things happen through processes and SOPs, but the communication aspect plays a very important role. So there are few bullet points connected with the facial expressions, but I have less time. So there are people who can, I'll just touch this, avoiding eye contacts, inconsistent eye contact. Then there are people who are frowning and all those things. So agreement, disagreement, understanding, connection, not connected, we understand that more in the what to say, there's some technical aspects, but when it comes to human resources, human people, and then we actually stand by and just maybe ignore certain factors, and these factors which get ignored and become very vital later on. I'll run through this, but I have to fix up some other yeah, this aspect of art of articulation is plays a very important role. So as students, I would suggest that you have to you need to get prepared. Your updates should be perfect, so that when it comes to delivering it, you have enough confidence to talk about it. So the clarity of objective or the takeaway has to be understood. So that requires homework, some preparedness. The preparedness, if preparedness plan is not there, then there's every chance that some confidence might really get diluted. So if you have to be successful, you have to really do some homework. And confidence comes only with some homework and some back study, some proactive approaches. And these are very important in articulating what you want to say. Assertiveness is a definitely a different subject. It requires a separate session on how you can be assertive. Assertive, it is more connected with the confidence and also the knowledge and the competence that you gain over a period of time, but also a personality trait which is very important in industry. So when I talk of assertiveness, it's saying yes when you want to say yes and no when you want to say no. But for this, you'll really have to really do some back end work with your heart and spirit, and also with your forecast about your future. So this ability of to express has to be understood. So wherever, as students, I would suggest or recommend, whenever your teachers give you an opportunity to present yourself, be your best. Make a very good attempt of doing some homework, doing some assignments perfectly, getting the best of presentations and giving your best. So the ability to express comes with some practice and some real motivation that happens within the system. So better your thought quality, the better will be your articulation. And if there's no opportunity, then you have to explore opportunities. So make better decisions, be more creative and innovative. These sound very generic statements, but I can narrate a few examples on this, provided I have some time. So basic attributes to enhance communication skills, I would like to dynamism. Yeah, the agility, the energy levels are very important, right? A person who can be very intelligent but appears pale, then that person may or may not be really uh, more successful in life. There are certain people who have crossed that limit, but definitely a person with agility, a person with energy are the people who we always try to connect. So this dynamism is very important. Agility, I talked about it. The resilience, this is an important factor. Flexibility is very important, because a person with rigidity will not be able to change or even not understand what is to be changed. So leave alone that continuous improvement factor. So a person who is flexible to take feedback, to understand what is required to change, that person will really make a difference. Learning and application. So it's art of learning, understanding, inculcating within oneself, and then applying it to any platform, be it a life platform or professional platform. Then that person is really connecting with success. So the determination factor, curiosity is very important. So these aspects can, a person who is curious but is not expressive won't be really communicating with the right people, and then there's no chance that that curiosity will be cured. So I would suggest that along with curiosity, you have to really build your communication, which is controlled, which is art of setting up a conversation, building confidence, building competence, and then it's very important that you are composed and calm and very clear and concise when you express what you want to do. Otherwise, a hasty communication will lead to a very wrong input, and then you'll still feel frustrated because you don't understand what is being said. So ability to prioritize is also a part of communication, because then you understand what is to be done first and what is to be done last. At times, due to pressure, if you really succumb to certain pressures, then the art of assertiveness and the communication plays an important role. Self introspection, self evaluation is very important. So there are some commandments. Seek to clarify your ideas before communicating. First, you have to be clear yourself. I told you the process first happens within your heart and your mind. If you are clear about what is to be communicated, then there's every chance that it will be communicated well. It does not really work well if you are confused yourself and you are trying to convince someone else. So get convinced first yourself, and then let us move forward. Examining the true purpose of each communication. The purpose has to be understood. A purposeless discussion is just a time pass. If we are wanting to do value addition in our life, understand what is the true purpose, and then you can really be a better person. So consider the physical and human setting, then consult with others in planning communication. There are teachers who are excellent in the communication. You can really just don't get into the syllabus. It's a life syllabus, which also is very important. So there are certain things, like there are certain weaknesses or maybe uh, such aspects you have to discuss with your uh, teachers who have been so cooperative, and then they can really help you to get into this zone. So take an opportunity to convey something and the value to the receiver. Follow up is very important communication. Once it's see, only the advertisement like fill it and forget it is good for uh, vehicle company, but in communication I think you need to have that aspect of following up of what has been said. You can communicate something and then understand that it has to be understood well. So communicate for tomorrow as well as for today. Be sure your actions support your communication, so it cannot be different. Yeah. So, and when this will happen only when you speak your heart out. So what is it that's important for students is, as per se, acquire the knowledge, skills, and abilities you need to learn. This will build confidence. Um, Inculcate the importance of communication, provide platform for improvising the skills. Support each other to communicate. See, at times, what I feel is we laugh at each other. Instead, we should be helping each other, because communication is important to everyone and every stage of life. In industry also, you'll be communicating right from the top person to the lowest in the hierarchy, and therefore we need to understand this composure in terms of communicating and getting things done, right? So instead of joking with some other person, it's important that we need to understand and maybe come to the bandwidth or improve his or her bandwidth, so that we become very good teammates. So we say we are good friends for each other, but then when it comes to communication, we should not be laughing at them. It's good that we help each other to build those skills, and therefore we are really touching the spirit of being together. So master the task of a good listener also. So final thoughts. Today's communication sets the tone for tomorrow's relationship. I think this is a very bold statement. Yes, it is. Irrespective of which field, which industry, which sector, or what type of connection you have in wellness, everything matters, and therefore setting tone for the communication is really going to help. So I think I have done my presentation within the stipulated time, though I'm sorry I had to rush through certain points, but let's hope that certain key factors have been delivered. Over to you, Shalini.
Wow, thank you so much. What an insightful session it is. And as I said before itself, that communication is a continuous journey and one cannot complete everything in a 45 minutes of session. So thank you so much, sir. And you are dot on time. You promised that you would finish on time and you have fulfilled that promise. So thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. What a perfect time it is. So I would like to welcome, we have today with us Professor Thorat, who is a director of ICT Bhubaneswar campus. So his
Okay.
self is so inspiring and motivating. Thank you, sir, for joining and encouraging us in today's.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah, mute participants. Maybe he's not able to.
I had to rush through. I'm sorry for that.
No problem, sir. So if you can stop sharing the screen, then I
Haha.
can ask some of the questions.
Okay, okay, just a second. Huh? It's done?
Yes, fantastic. Thank you so much, sir. So I have few questions based on some students have also sent me questions. So you say that communication is very, very important and we need to do it very, very nicely. But sometimes currently, there are some myths and you have already completed some of the myths. But speaking fluently in English is what considered as, a good communication. So, what is your
Yeah.
take or what is your wisdom or thought on the same?
See, I think a person who is flexible is ready to understand that I'm not good in English. And then if something has to be improved, that aspect has to be really worked upon. Just thinking that this is my weakness, automatically there's no power in the world who can really grant you with that wish that from tomorrow onwards your English is going to improve. You really have to work step by step in terms of vocabulary, in terms of communication. And what I would suggest is, as I rightly mentioned, we have to have students who are cooperating with each other to speak only in English. Let mistakes happen. Let there be 100% mistakes, but this sets tone to being flexible and understanding and improving each other. So when this spirit gets into the system, na, automatically you start improving. So I would suggest one thing, like in industry, we used to face this problem. I started a vocab club, okay, in one of the companies. Then what we used to do is every day I used to send one word with a meaning and a sentence, and we formed a group. And this group then actually said that each member had the right to ask anyone what was the word today and what is the meaning, right? So this generated, say, I'm not here to give the entire dictionary to you, but I'm just wanting you to develop love for words. Okay. So and then later on what I did is we started I created one batch with a smiley, and what I wrote on it is uh, I love English. I need your support. Okay.
Wow.
So what happens is, like in industry, like in a vehicle, no, wherever you find L written on a vehicle, you don't get angry with that person. In fact, you give some space for that person to really learn. So if that can happen to a vehicle, why can't we do it to our colleagues, our students who are driving their life vehicle with us? Okay. So this aspect is very important in any organization. So I think this will play an important role.
Wow, what a brilliant idea, and I'm going to implement that immediately, at least amongst my research students or my
Good. Yeah.
students. We have
Yeah.
another question from Sarika, and she's asking that how to improve communication skill consistently other than occasionally. Very nice question. Thank you, Sarika.
Yeah, what I would suggest, Sarika, is the question itself says that you are flexible, and it says that it's a matter of continuous what do you say, learning or continuous improvement. Even today, I learn certain many things. Right, the way I draft, the way I use my words, the way I use my vocabulary, this plays a very important role. So when you write something, and then you can see, you can challenge yourself, right? If you challenge yourself, then there's every way that you can grow. You challenge the way that I speak, then I can speak better tomorrow. If I challenge the way I write today, I can be a better person tomorrow. The point is that you have to challenge yourself and challenge the way that you communicate and articulate. It really plays a very important role, and we have to do it to ourselves and also with our peers. It's very important.
Wow, what a fantastic idea. Again, we have another question from Vandana. How to overcome stage fear while especially giving seminar or talk or presentations? Very good question, Vandana. Thank you for asking.
So Vandana, basically, uh, every person faces this problem. So don't feel that you are different. Even my first lecture was the same, like what it can be for anyone else. Even Tendulkar during his first run has the anxiety whether he can really get it right. If and the best orator in the world also for few seconds before he or she starts has this problem. So don't feel that this is a very unique phenomena. You cannot divert it, but make a small attempt of talking to your friends, talking to few people, and then few more people, and automatically you will understand that you are speaking much better every day. So take chances, take a platforms, get more platforms, and just get into it. There's no harm, no side effect at all.
Excellent. Thank you so much. We have another question. Like as you said, be assertive, and there is of course a big session that you said it need another separate an hour to talk about assertiveness. But
Yes.
generally, you also brought a very important point, that is listening skill. Very, very important skill. So usually it is seen in an organizations that the higher authorities or the bosses generally have that superiority complex or over superiority complex, and they do not listen preferably to the juniors or their so what is your advice, and how as a junior how to handle that situation when you have a boss which is not listening, and then how to I have no answer for that, but yes, that's situation which we face many times.
So understanding and managing a boss is a separate session altogether. But what I would suggest is like a person with the content, with the right assertive aspects and a molded communication skills can manage any boss in the world. Okay. So modern industries or modern companies are definitely playing a pivotal role in setting up structured communication systems. It's not it definitely matters how your boss understands you, but then you have to be observant. Therefore this observation skill is very important. You observe that your boss, what he likes and what he does not like. Yeah. And even if he does not like, you have to change the way you can really play that ball, right? So a best bowler understands the best batsman and then understands his weakness and the strengths and plays his balls according to that. So it's all about understanding and replicating and really improvising your own self, so that you really align yourself with this thinking and you still do what you want to do.
Wow, wow. So there is one more question. Thank you so much for addressing such a beautifully all the questions by our student. So generally, when the students appear for an interview, it's
Yeah.
such a short period of time, and in
Hmm.
that period of time, you gave very important keys or tips that one should have a very important. That is the technical knowledge. One should have the technical knowledge, but apart from the technical knowledge, gesture, body language is also very important.
Yeah.
So do you think our students should take any special training on these things, or they should empower themselves, practice themselves, or what could be your advice on that?
What I would suggest is drafting your own CV is the first stage. Most of the students copy paste the and replicate someone else's CVs, and therefore they miss the spirit that comes within that. So your CV is your ambassador to the next career move. Okay, it cannot be someone else's because you are shaping your own life. You are structuring it, and why should you structure someone else's CV? Right. I have seen many people who have started copying their objectives also. How can that person's objective be your objective? So it starts with that. So frame your own words, frame your own understanding, and then when it comes from your own heart, it becomes easy to actually exhibit and articulate what has been written, because that has come from your heart and your mind. So that's one thing. Secondly, I would suggest that these students uh, institutions can really have some mock drills of interviews and make the students used to such aspects that the fear factor has to be taken out. There's nothing that it's a interview is just a dialogue of whether that person requires me and I require that company. So it's important to understand that the employer also requires the best people. Na? If you are best, and then you are also required. You can also select. They can select and you can select. It's a dialogue between two parties. So don't ever have the fear factor that whether I will be getting selected or not selected. So pre-work of competency knowledge is important, but also the confidence that you have to gain before an interview is equally important.
Yes. So confidence, you are saying, but generally it is seen that the confidence comes with the experience. So if one appearing for the first time, the level of confidence that person has, and after 10 years of work experience, the level of confidence that is built up, and of course the opportunities one get and the platform one get, that also matters a lot. So thank you so much for answering all the questions. I have one question. You said that the thought quality is very important, and as it is rightly said that you are what you think. So thought quality is at most very, very important. So do you have any tips or any suggestions through which one can improve the thought quality in our day-to-day life, or while being walking on the path of journey of career or graduation or post-graduation?
Nice question. See, when we say life is all about value addition, we have to understand ki who or what process, what people, what listening has to be done. Okay, if you are interested in cricket, you cannot be doing something else, right? If my sole purpose of living is value addition, then you have to understand who can bring what value addition. Whether it is a book, it's a teacher, it's a colleague, it's a friend, it's a professional, it's a company, whatever brings value addition is to be entertained. But what happens normally, like we get connected with certain things which are not adding value. So VA and NVA, value added and non-value added, this choice has to be done perfectly. And when I see your quality of thoughts when it matches with the VA is the quality. If it's adding to NVA, it's not a quality. So make a right choice, get into the right train, and then your destination and your journey will be nice.
Wow, what an excellent session, sir. You have tried to address all the questions, but still there are so many other questions. But because we are running out of time, I would do one thing. I will compile all the questions and then send it to you. And you can also add your insights, wisdom on answering those. And thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Spending time with our students, addressing their questions, and I look forward for your mentoring and guidance in your future also.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, students.
And thanks, students.
Yes, asking questions nicely, beautifully, and thank you so much for showing your passion for learning. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Bye, bye, everyone.